interruption, we are back to start part 3. So, let's continue with episode 2, Turnabout Airlines. March 12th, 1 p.m. local time, Hope Springs Airport. I know that once we had landed, I'm supposed to let the local police take over. And thanks to Miss Nero and Miss Melee, I was able to preserve the crime scene. But I just can't shake it. I wasn't able to talk with Miss Tenero in private. So I'm left wondering just what was she up to? Why did she do what she did? There must be a way for me to continue my investigation. I've been expecting you, Miles Edgeworth. Francisca? I thought you were still in Germany. I go where I am needed. And wherever there are criminals to be caught. Her name is Francisca von Karma, the daughter of my mentor Manfred von Karma. She, like myself, is a prosecutor. Are you heading up this case? It would be a bit of a relief if you are. Don't you try to flatter me, Miles Edgeworth! I am placing you under arrest! What?! It's quite frustrating, actually. I'd hoped to exact my revenge on you in a different venue. But I'll have to take what I can get. I never thought I'd see the day. When a disciple of the House of Von Karma would become a criminal, have you no shame? Wait! It has all been a big misunderstanding! I didn't kill the victim! A misunderstanding? I heard all about the murder over the police radio from the captain himself. You waited for the victim on the first floor and then beat him to death! Francisca, do you honestly believe that I killed a man? I suppose I should reserve judgment until after I've investigated this for myself. I can put your arrest on hold until then. That is as it should be. I don't need a lecture on how to perform my duties from you, of all people. To be perfect in every way, the fulfillment of that creed alone is all I strive for. Well, I have my own creed which I must fulfill, so why don't we solve this together? I have to get going. The crime scene awaits. Don't you dare leave town. Trust me, I had no intention to. Detective Gumshoe? Yes, sir. Too slow. Ow! Listen up. I'm leaving you in charge of watching this man. Don't mess up, understand? Mr. Edgeworth, I'm supposed to guard him? A simple yes or no, detective. Ah, yes, sir. Understood, sir. You just leave it to me. Miles Edgeworth? If you interfere with my investigation, I'll arrest you on the spot. Are we clear? Now then, if you'll excuse me. Good to see you again, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Boy, am I glad to see you're okay. Thank you, Detective. I believe in you, sir. You can lean on me. I'll get you through this. I have to admit, I'm a bit curious as to what Francisca's up to. Maybe I should ask the good detective. Very well. In that case, I have a few questions for you. So, how's the initial investigation going? We just shipped the body off to the coroner's office, and we're taking statements now, sir. That sounds like Francisca. She was always good at quick responses to a case. I'd say she was a little too quick, sir. Oh? How so? I was shot over as soon as I got word of the affair, sir, but somehow, when I got here, Miss Von Karma was already here, barking out orders at everyone. It was kind of creepy, as though she knew there had been a murder or something, and had come in advance to await your flight's arrival. That is sort of odd. She did show up rather quickly, and out of the blue. Plus, I still don't know why she's here in America. There must be some backstory to all this. Miss Von Karma just kind of popped up at the prosecutor's office about a week ago, sir. Something about chasing down leads related to a certain incident. No details? It's kind of top secret, so she can't talk about it, even with me, sir. Knowing her, the only type of talking she likes to do is with her wit. Plus, I doubt that the top secret part was what stopped her from talking to you, Detective. Although, I wonder if her case has anything to do with mine. Anyway, that's all the info I have, sir. We should find out more as we investigate. Yes, it is high time to resume my investigation, starting with talking to the people involved in this case afresh. March 12th, 1:37 p.m. Flight G390, second floor, first class. So, you must be the captain. Why, yes I am, and who might you be? I am the prodigy prosecutor Francisca von Karma, and I have a few questions for you. Ah, don't you dare, Captain, getting friendly with another woman. I'll never forgive you if you do. What are you talking about? I only have eyes for you, my dear Tammy. I wouldn't bet money on our dear Captain being much of a reputable person. Sure you don't want to ask the Captain some questions, sir? He was in the cockpit the entire time. I highly doubt he would know anything of use. Anyway, I like to leave that type of witness to Francisca and her whip. Ah! March 12th, 1:40 p.m. Flight G390, first floor landing. Now see here! Ah! Sorry, I'm so sorry. How long do you intend to hold me? It is impossible for me to be the criminal I told you. Mr. LeBlanc. Oh, it is you. Tell this man to stop stopping me from going. Time is money. I don't have even 1 second of wasteful time to spend. Sir, you can't go in there. I'm Miles Edgeworth. I'm one of the prosecutors on this case, so please let me come through. I'm very sorry, sir. No one's allowed to enter without Miss Von Karma's express permission. But I'm on the case. Yes, I understand that, but I also have explicit instructions not to let you through from Miss Von Karma. Why would you do this to me, Francisca? Did you finish taking your statement yet? Yep, all done, sir. I do not concern you if you're not done examining the cargo hold. I want my cargo back! If you make a single scratch on my art, you will pay! Art? What sort of art? Mr. LeBlanc is an art dealer, so he's got a bunch of artwork down in the cargo hold, sir. There's practically a mountain of them, large and small. From folk costumes to stone statues, I sell all kinds of art. Folk costumes? Speaking of which, Mr. LeBlanc's hat. It kind of looks like the other piece of cloth. Mr. LeBlanc, can you please take a look at this for me? Oh, it's a Borthinian cloth. As I suspected, your hat is made of the same material, I suppose? Yes, of course, this fabric is so famous. Orders come from overseas for more. Then this is the cargo you were talking about earlier. No, my cargo this time is much many gigantic. You, detective, when can I have my cargo moved? You can get your cargo back when we're done investigating, pal. Stubbornness of you police is no good. And it is no good that attendant refuses to exit the attendance room, too. That attendant? I wonder if he's talking about Mr. Nero. I can't present profiles, so it's not important. What did you mean by that attendant, Mr. LeBlanc? She was taken into the attendance room for her interview. And then they still have not come out. They make no sign of coming out either. I was finishing my own interview much earlier, quicker than her. Why is Mr. Nero's interview the only one that's taking up so much time? Miles Edgeworth, you were given free rein to examine the plane, weren't you? Yes, I was able to obtain the cooperation of the flight attendants. Speaking of attendants, I'd like to speak with Miss Nero. I wonder if you might grant me permission to enter the flight attendant's room. Before I do, you still have to clear up a few issues surrounding your own circumstances. I understand. You may have tricked those attendants with your sophisticated talking, but you could not pull the wool over my eyes, Miles Edgeworth. Francisca's logic. Oh boy, this is gonna be a doozy. Let's not complicate things and go with the most obvious conclusion. The scene of the crime was here, in the very lounge the body was discovered. From the time the victim was seen calling for an attendant until his body was found, the only person in the lounge the entire time was you, Miles Edgeworth. This unmistakably makes you the likeliest suspect. The likeliest suspect, Francisca. Do you have a problem with that? No, but it's not like you to use such vague wording. You're usually a bit more absolute. I'm simply trying to watch out for you. Or is my kindness too hard for you to comprehend? Thank you, but your leniency is unnecessary. For I'll prove my innocence soon enough. If I want to continue my investigation, I'll have to break her line of logic. Fast. Alright. Time to counter logic, I guess. The scene of the crime was here, where the body was discovered. Don't we have evidence against that, though? I mean, the suitcase might suggest that a body was moved. I'm gonna press her real quick, just to be sure.
Hold it!
Hold it! So tell me, Francisca, do you know all there is to know about the crime scene? I know all that I need to know in order to arrest you. And nothing more. Are you saying there is more I need to know? Ah! Why did you whip me, sir? Sorry, Scruffy, my hand must have slipped. It would appear Francisca doesn't have all the facts of this case yet. Yeah, so in that case, she does not know about the... She does not know. I saved it, right? I'm pretty sure I saved it. Yeah, we're in Francisca's logic. It's saved. Right, she does not know.
Objection!
Objection! You missed something, Francisca. It would appear that you did not have all the information you needed after all. And what does that mean? I found a nice piece of evidence just before I was forced to stop investigating. A piece that proves the body was moved from a different location. The killer used this suitcase to move the victim's body, meaning that the real scene of the crime is not this lounge at all. Objection! Now who's the one rashly jumping to conclusions? Excuse me? All you did was find this piece of cloth inside of the suitcase. That doesn't prove the body was moved. It could be the killer simply chose that suitcase as a good place to hide the cloth. I expected you would come to that conclusion. It would seem I can't escape that easily. You should know better than that. Von Karma is perfect in every way. Ah, but did you know that the killer definitely wheeled the suitcase around at some point? As if there's proof of that! Where is the proof that the suitcase was moved around? Isn't the proof the tracks?
Take that!
The spilled grape juice in front of the elevator? Yes, and I'd like to draw your attention to this area here. Where is the evidence that the killer dragged the suitcase through here? The tracks, obviously.
Take that!
This mark here, when did you say that it looks suspiciously like tracks from two wheels? I suppose. Further, there's also grape juice residue on the wheels of the suitcase. This means that the suitcase containing the victim's body definitely passed through here. I suppose this means that the killer did move the victim's body from somewhere else. I'm glad you've come to your senses.
Objection!
Not so fast! This still doesn't put you in the clear. Not by a long shot. We're not done yet. You prepared yourself and acquired the piggy bank before the plane hit the turbulence. And then you waited for the victim in the lounge, where you beat him to death. Then, while you were in the elevator with the victim's body stuffed in the suitcase, the plane hit that patch of turbulence and outflew the body from within the suitcase. Within the way out, you hastily put the suitcase back where you had taken it from, and pretended to be the discoverer of the body. Not a bad bit of logic for something you thought of on the fly. Just what are you insinuating? That I will show you exactly how flawed your logic is. No matter how strong of a face you put on, not even you can hide your fears from me. I'll expose the flaws in our logic in one fell swoop. Right? This part is a little trickier. Save real quickly. Okay, prepared yourself and acquired the piggy bank before the plane hit the turbulence. But the problem with that is that the windows were broken in the shop. I don't have the evidence for that though, but I'm pretty sure the shop window was broken. I don't know, maybe I'll get something if I press on the statement? Maybe?
Hold it!
And how do you suppose I was able to take the piggy bank out of its display case? As I recall, the case was locked. That's easy. If the case was locked, you simply had to hit the glass, like this. Yow! You shattered my heart of glass! So she wants to talk about the in-flight shop in the captain's bank, does she? That takes care of how you obtained the murder weapon. And then you waited for the victim in the lounge where you beat him to death. One problem about that one problem. I could not have acquired it beforehand, right?
Objection!
Yep. The fact that you took this piece of evidence into account in your testimony is to be commended. Your legal prowess is certainly something to be feared. Evidence and logic, essential tools that those who would stand in a courtroom must learn to master. But what if there was a fake piece of evidence thrown into the mix? A fake? This Captain Ugo piggy bank is just such a fake. It is not the real murder weapon. What? The timing of when the bank was taken from the shop is important, and it was taken after the turbulence had occurred. But then what about the blood on the bank? What do you make of that? I assume it was added after the murder when the killer fabricated this weapon. Looking at it this way, the killer basically did three things after the turbulence. After exiting the elevator, the killer brought the suitcase to the shop and left it in there. Then the killer proceeded to pick the bank up from off the floor and took it to fabricate a fake murder weapon by hitting the victim on the head. Finally, the victim's wallet was planted on my personage, in my pocket to be precise. Everything was done so that I would be framed for the murder of Mr. Ackby Hicks. You there! Yes, ma'am. Other than this piggy bank, was anything else resembling a murder weapon found? We didn't find anything in this lounge or in the shop that could be used as one, ma'am. Most of the items that could have been used were broken during the turbulence, and the remaining items all tested negative for any traces of blood. I see. Well, Miles Edgeworth, it appears your stall tactics are at an end. But it's possible that it's just hidden somewhere, sir. If the criminal had wanted to hide the weapon in a safer place, I think the weapon would have been hidden in the same place as the bloody cloth. Exactly what I was thinking. Because the cloth was hidden inside that suitcase, it signals to me that the killer had not prepared a more secure place to hide the evidence. Which means that the real murder weapon is either still on the murderer's personage, or still at the real crime scene.
Objection!
There is one more possibility, and that would be that the piggy bank is in fact the real murder weapon. But didn't you just... Hold it! Let me finish! The killer took the bank out from the display case before the turbulence, by opening the lock on the display case door. And it was at that time that the glass pane in the door was broken. I'd say that's a perfectly reasonable line of reasoning, wouldn't you? Let's see. So that means that the killer had the key to the display case. Francisca, the person you're talking about. Not so fast, I'm not finished. The person I'm talking about also committed another sin. She tricked the captain. And granted you permission to conduct your investigation. Yes, it is the sin of lying. Speaking of which, I recall that you also wish to speak with her. Yes. Very well, permission granted. But only if I can sit in on your interrogation. Do we understand each other? I have no intention of interrogating her. But you are welcome to accompany me, if you so wish. Miss Tenero is in the flight attendant's room. Let's move. Alright! From here on in, we are going in blind. I don't really know anything about the other half of this case. I have my suspicions on who the killer is, but I don't know anything for certain. So the rest of this, we're going in blind for once. I don't remember this really happening with any of the Ace Attorney games, because I know about every other one. I don't know about the investigations games that well. Alright, March 12th, 2:23 p.m., Flight G390, first floor, flight attendant's room. So you're the one that poked around inside this plane without the captain's permission. Deviating from the flight attendant's manual is very unbecoming, you know. What were you hoping to accomplish by doing that? Miss Tenero. Mr. Edgeworth, you're here too? Can you please help us and shed some light on why you did what you did? Alright. Why did you lie about receiving the captain's permission like that? Because I didn't think I would be able to get his permission. What do you mean? The captain, he only has ears for Cammy. I spoke with the captain a little earlier myself. He definitely seems to be rather taken with Miss Melee. Yes, and on top of that, I'd mistakenly accused Mr. Edgeworth of being the killer. I wanted to make amends. In that case, please allow me to thank you for what you did. Thanks to you, I was able to clear myself of all charges. Really? You were able to prove your innocence? Oh, thank goodness. Miss Tenero, is it? There's one more thing I'd like to ask you. You were in the in-flight shop just before the turbulence, were you? Please answer honestly. Yes, I was. And why were you there? Well, Why the sudden hesitation? Francisca seems to have struck a nerve. All I did was go check up on the shop like I always do. You're saying it was for work, then? Yes, I'm in charge of the shop, so I have to keep an eye on it. I don't have any reason to go there otherwise. After your visit to the shop, you paid a visit to this room, correct? Yes, I came back to freshen up and adjust my makeup. I'm sorry, but there isn't much else to tell. This general claims to have no reason other than duty to go to the shop. But is that all there is to it? Maybe I should ask her about that thing. What do I need to ask her about? Case, right? Yeah. If you could please take a look at this for me, Miss Nero. Oh, that suitcase. Yes, about this suitcase. You're the one who designed it, correct? And I think I figured something else out about it. This suitcase is the reason you went to the shop, isn't it? There's nothing you won't find out eventually, is there? Won't you please tell me more about the suitcase? Yes, I was interested in seeing how the suitcases I designed were selling. I know that as a service professional I'm not supposed to care, but I really wanted to know, and I was glad to see that I was the last one there. The last one there? But there's two of them, right? So you're saying, Miss Nero, that the suitcase in question was the last one? Yes, they're just so popular they're practically flying off the shelves. That's not exactly the impression I got. The one in the shop is most definitely the last one. Well, we're currently looking at that suitcase. Really? Then I guess we sold all of them. Thank you very much for taking the last one. I didn't say anything about buying it. Then say you'll buy it. I'm sorry, I can't. But why? I think it'd go great with your complexion, Mr. Edgeworth. It really suits you. I guarantee it personally as a service professional. Well, that is... How should I put this? It's hideous. What?! Maybe that was a bit too direct. Moving on, my issue with the suitcases isn't the design. It's the number of them remaining. Remaining? There were 2 suitcases in the implant shop when I investigated it. 2? But that's impossible! I'm sure there was only 1. Looks like her story has generated quite the contradiction. When I left the shop, I'm positive there was only 1 suitcase left. Something's amiss here. What could be the meaning of this inconsistency? By the way, Miss Tenero, what is one of those suitcases doing here? That's... I thought you said there was only 1 left. That one is, it's mine. I've used it for a very long time now. She's used it for a long time? I think not. Mr. Nero, I'd appreciate if you wouldn't lie to me. Excuse me? I don't believe for even 1 second that you've used this for a very long time. What proves this hasn't been used for nearly as long as Mr. Nero says? What? Oh, the price tag, right?
Take that!
Tell me, Mr. Nero, is it also you're happy to keep the price tag pristine on your case? Oh! What is the meaning of this? Why would you lie about a suitcase? Despite having faith in her design sense, the sales numbers made her cry bitter tears. The truth is becoming increasingly clear to me. Miss Nero, I think I understand. I know what you're trying to hide. Now then, this suitcase was originally in... I got a guess about where it was in. This isn't the one from the shop, right? I don't think it was in here. Was it in first class? I thought I saw something about a suitcase being in there before. Let's check. It was originally in first class as part of a sales campaign. Wait, no. No, it's not that one. Investigate by yourself on your own time. Yeah, that's the wrong one. Okay, that was dumb. I didn't know. That was a little dumb. Okay, so then it probably was in the flight shop then. Seeing as how the price tag is still on the suitcase, one can only assume it was out on the floor for sale in the shop. The person who bought this suitcase was... Nah, did Hicks buy it?
Take that!
Hicks is the one that bought the suitcase. Sorry, but I don't understand your line of logic. Can you explain why you chose to finger him? I thought he would have gotten it before he was dead. Instead of basking in your great admission, spend time thinking. Damn it! Yeah, as you can tell, I don't know the rest of this. Great. Let me think. It was on sale. Who bought the case? She didn't buy it. This isn't her. She didn't just buy this. LeBlanc's not relevant. Did Cammy buy it?
Take that!
No. No, she did not buy the case. Oh, right, that's fair. She did complain about it a few times. Bruh! Not the ladies insult, God! Okay. I need to think. Okay, who actually bought this? Wait a second. No. Someone bought this. I'm wasting so much time trying to think about who bought it. I'm an idiot. Wait, no, did she actually buy it or am I just dumb?
Take that!
I am dumb! It was you, wasn't it, Miss Tenero? I hate to say this, but this suitcase that you designed, it hasn't sold very well, has it? You saw how poorly this design that you poured your heart into was selling, and you were deeply hurt. That's why you wanted to make it look like it was selling by buying it yourself. Isn't that right? And the reason you went to the shop and came back here was... I'm sorry. All I really have is my job. I was overjoyed when my design was chosen. I thought that maybe I'd finally accomplished something. But the suitcases didn't sell. It's because of the design, isn't it? All because it's, as you put it, hideous. I can't say they chose a great place in which to sell them either. We weren't selling a single one, they were just sitting there collecting dust. I felt so bad seeing them there day in and day out. So I decided to buy one for every flight I worked. You buy one every single time you work a flight? I see, so in order to keep up your resolution, you went and bought one today as well. Yes, and here's my receipt for that purchase. This receipt is clearly timestamped 5:40 a.m. The truth is, there's still a bunch of them left unsold. They're planning to scrap the remaining ones at the end of this flight. Miss Tenero, where are these other suitcases? They should all be down in the cargo hold. Then the suitcase the killer used could very well have come from the cargo hold. Mr. Edgeworth, you don't think that the killer used one of my suitcases to... Yes, I do. The killer used one of your beloved suitcases to move the victim's body. Ah! How could they? Those suitcases were meant to be faithful partners to our passengers on the trips. That's all I ever wished for them to be. Miss Tenero, is there any other way to get the cargo hold other than the elevator? The only other way is through that door there. And what about security? That door has no special locks installed because just to enter this room, you need a special keycard that only crew members have access to. Which means that the culprit is someone who can enter this room, eliminating the passengers and leaving only crew members as potential suspects. I can't believe it. Hold it! Yes, Francisco? Going on these wild goose chases, you're a disgrace to the Von Karma name. And what do you mean by that? The suitcase came from the cargo hold. That fact alone tells the whole story. Yes, which is why I said the culprit must be a crew member who used their key card. Miles Edgeworth! You're proposing that the killer rode the elevator from the cargo hold, correct? Yes, that's the only realistic possibility. That other attendant, Miss Melee. I asked her earlier and she had this to say. Francisco got information on Miss Melee? In order to make the elevator go down to the cargo hold, a different key card is required. A different one? Yes, and the only person who holds that particular card is you, Mr. Rotatonero, and only you. Ah! What? Is this true, Miss Nero? Yes, I keep that key card in my locker at all times. Could you please show us the card right now? Yes, hold on. I don't believe it! What's wrong? The key card, it's gone! Very clever. Pretending that your card was stolen when in fact you're just trying to hide it from us. You really thought this through. Wait, it's not like that! You can tell us about what it's like if we went down to the station. Officer, arrest this woman. Yes, ma'am. Mr. Edgeworth! What's wrong? There's disbelief written all over your face. Francisca, I know you are the lead investigator in this case. However, hold it! Don't even think about wasting any more of my time! You know the rules as well as I do. Evidence speaks louder than words. Even if this isn't a courtroom, that basic tenet still applies. I intend to investigate the cargo hold now. What will you do, Miles Edgeworth? I intend to do likewise. There's another intermission? Okay. I was not expecting 2 intermissions. Although, granted, I was also not expecting to be that bad at investigating in this game. But, we're gonna continue onwards. March 12th, 2:52 p.m. Flight G390, lower deck cargo hold. Wow, so this is the cargo hold, huh? It's so big! This plane is a special model. It is both a super large cargo hold and ultra luxurious first class seating. So this is the real scene of the murder. There is certainly a high probability of that, which is why we're here, correct? Okay, let's get investigating, sir. Alright. Time to start the next investigation thing. Anyway, this case should be fun. What's this? Hey, what's with the suitcase, pal? It's what the victim checked in, sir. So this suitcase belonged to Mr. Hicks. I don't think he'd mind if we took a closer look. There's nothing out of the ordinary in here, sir. Wait, file? And there's a photo of Miss Von Karma in it, sir. It looks like a profile on Francisca. Why would Mr. Hicks have a file on her? Huh. Keeping track of this many pieces of cargo must be very taxing on the crew. This sure brings back memories of when I worked as a part-time mover, sir. As looking in these eyes, he's waiting for me to ask about the rest of the story. But no matter how he pours on the puppy eyes, I have no intention of doing so. Holy suitcases, Mr. Edgeworth! It's like an all-you-can-use suitcase fair. These must all be leftover ones they couldn't sell. The ones the company is planning to dispose of after the flight's over. This paint job is really cool, don't you think? It practically screams artsy. Oh, why not purchase one then? I'm sure it'll bring you much happiness. You think so? Then maybe I will. Let's see here. $1,200?! I think I'll pass. And Miss Nero wonders why they don't sell. You'd need 2 jobs just to buy one. Although, it definitely looks like one is missing. What's this brittle substance I'm stepping on? It's a bunch of glass fragments. Hold up a second. Glass fragments, light bulb. Don't tell me. These look like the fragments of a pair of glasses. These are from the glasses, right? I think we can safely conclude these fragments are from a pair of glasses. And the victim was wearing a pair of broken glasses. Exactly what I was thinking. I'm sure that the shards would match up perfectly with the remnants of his glass lens. Ergo, the victim was here, just as I suspected. So you're saying that the real scene of the crime is here, sir? Isn't that what I've been saying for a while now? Oh, is it? I didn't know that. Perhaps it's a bit early to draw that conclusion. However, I believe that the probability is just skyrocketed considerably. All that's left is to find the murder weapon. Flammable, and this one says pharmaceutical. This one says for exorcism use only. Just what kind of operation is this airline running? Oh, I just love pushing the buttons on elevators and crosswalk vehicles. Here, you should give it a try, sir. Go on, push it. The elevator is currently stopped on the first floor, detective. It can't move. Oh, yeah, I guess nothing would happen if you pushed it now. Well, nothing would happen normally anyway without the special keycard. Both the door of the attendance room and the elevator's control panels require a keycard, which makes it impossible for a passenger to get down here. You notice anything strange happening out here? No, sir. I haven't noticed a thing. I'm not sure that I meant to sound so oblivious. Don't you know anything yet? This cargo hold's really big. Can't believe they could fit stuff like that in here. Detective, what are you going on about? We're in the middle of an investigation here. Whoa, stuff falling on me! Well, I can't really get into my work without something like this happening first. Well, let's get the show on the road. So, which item you want to start on? In this world, there are those who are masochistic, and then there's Gumshoe. So that flight attendant, Rhoda Tenero, she's the killer, isn't she? I don't think we can say for sure yet, but there certainly are a great number of things pointing us in that direction. You mean like how she didn't tell us about her buying her own suitcase? Yes, however, in regard to the keycard being stolen, I can't seem to find any evidence that she's lying about that. Francisca, you arrived at the scene of the crime before Detective Gumshoe, correct? And you then immediately began to direct the investigation. It seems to me that you were already here at this airport for something besides this murder. Yes, I was. I've been following a very large and involved governmental-level international crime, but it's much too large for one person to take on alone, so it was decided that I should form a joint investigation with Interpol. Interpol is involved. It's a top-secret operation, so I can't tell you any more than I already have. Oh, really? Well... maybe the profile is because of Interpol. Now, why would Mr. Hicks have documents profiling Francisca? Oh, I know! I bet he's a big fan of Miss Francisca, sir. Or Von Conster. Francisca said she had to come to this airport as part of an Interpol investigation. Oh, maybe Mr. Hicks had heard she was coming here and he followed her. Detective, I think it's more likely Mr. Hicks was in actuality Interpol Agent Hicks. I think Francisca has some explaining to do. You came to this airport to rendezvous with the victim, didn't you? Nonsense! What are you talking about? We found a profile detailing information about you in the victim's luggage. I suppose it was prepared for him so that he could recognize you when he landed. Which makes him not Mr. Hicks, but rather Interpol Agent Hicks. Isn't that correct? I should have known you'd figure it out, Miles. But it looks like they've got to him first. So you really did come here to receive an Interpol agent, then? Yes. Agent Hicks was on the trail of a very large international smuggling ring. He went undercover to investigate this crime, and it was I who put him on his case. I was supposed to receive a call from him on his cell phone once he had landed. I never expected to receive a call about his murder instead. I think we now have pretty definitive evidence that Agent Hicks came down here to the cargo hold. But what was he doing down here, sir? There's nothing but luggage. Oh, I get it. Maybe he forgot something in his suitcase and came down to get it. Ow! Agent Hicks came here for a work-related reason. Of that, I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure he was here to investigate the smuggling operation he was observing. Francisco, do you know exactly how he intended to pursue his investigation? No, unfortunately I was going to find out from him after he landed. I see. But this raises another question. A normal passenger can't access the cargo hold on their own. Agent Hicks must have identified himself to a member of the crew, and entered the cargo hold with that person who let him in. Yes, and then he was murdered here. These glasses fragments and his broken glasses are a testament to that. And then the killer put Agent Hicks into one of the spare suitcases, and they entered the elevator. But while they were writing it up, the plane hit that patch of turbulence. Because of the intense shaking, the suitcase popped open and Mr. Agent Hicks' body flew out. At the same time, his wallet fell out of his pocket, spilling its contents everywhere. Which explains why there was money scattered all over the elevator floor. Lovely. The investigation is done. I think it's pretty easy to say who the culprit is at this stage. What? Really, sir? I know what you're thinking, Miles Edgeworth. But the killer can be none other than Miss Rhoda Tenero. If it was a crew member, any one of them could have shown Agent Hicks to the cargo hold. But the point to keep in mind is that the key card that allows the elevator to come down here. The only person with such high-level access is Rhoda Tenero. I'd say that that's a pretty decisive piece of information, wouldn't you? I know what she's trying to say, but I'm not certain it's as simple as that. Okay. Time to figure out the definitive information thing. Hang on. I'm gonna save real quick. And then take a sip of my Pepsi. And from here, I need to start guessing probably. Any one of them could have shown Hicks to the cargo hold, which is true.
Hold it!
That might be true, but then it could be anyone, including Miss Melee or even the captain. Don't be a fool. A plane without a pilot in the cockpit is like a horse without a rider, crop in hand. Much like Scruffy over there. Hey! I can't disagree with her on that. Detective Gumshoe does always need a guy in hand. Very well then, what about the other flight attendant, Miss Melee? I thought you might ask about her. But the point to keep in mind is that the key card that allows the key card that allows the elevator to come down here.
Hold it!
Hold it! It's highly likely the key card was stolen from Miss Tenero. Objection! It's highly likely? Is that possibility the best you can come up with? And you call yourself a disciple of my father? Yark! Yes, well, I don't have any evidence, be quiet. You're a disgrace. There's more evidence pointing to Miss Rhoda Tenero, you know. It's not just a key card that gives her away. Are you talking about the murder weapon, the Captain Ugo piggy bank? Yes! She is also the only person with a key to open that display case. Does it matter the key to the display case that holds the murder piggy bank? Okay, hold up. Hold up. Hold up. I thought it was already established that the thing probably flew through it. Does it matter the key to the display case? The key, huh? I might as well press on the key. I'm not sure of anything anymore, so I gotta really just press.
Hold it!
Hold it! But that is a fake objection! Stop right there, Miles Edgeworth. You don't have any proof that this is just a red herring. If you must keep on insisting that it's a fake, then what is the real murder weapon and where did it go? Speechless, I see. That's not a surprise. After all, you know that we've searched the entire cargo hold and came up empty-handed. There must be a way. There must be something that can help me rule out the piggy bank as a murder weapon. What should be examined further to help us examine the thing? What should be examined further to help ascertain the authenticity of the weapon? We're going to save here. I'm going to presume the body, right? You can check the wounds, can't you? Francisca, I think you were too quick to jump to your conclusions. Oh, was I? Yes, we don't even have the autopsy results yet. How can I not say that you made a snap judgment when you get to even see if the wound on Agent Hicks' head is consistent with the murder weapon? Scruffy! Yes, sir? Contact the medical examiner's office at once! I wish to hear the results of Agent Hicks' autopsy. Yes, sir! Yeah, that's what I thought. We got a big problem, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. What is it, detective? They're still doing the autopsy, but they said they already know this one thing for sure. Report, now! The doc said that it's one giant bruise from a beam from his shoulder down to his mid-back. From the victim's shoulder to his mid-back? He was beaten over such a wide area? Well, I'd say maybe it's a sign the killer had a grudge against Agent Hicks. It wasn't just his head. The killer went all out and hit him multiple times, sir. Scruffy, what is had a grudge against Agent Hicks supposed to mean? Well, that's, Was the wound on the victim's head consistent with the murder weapon, detective? Oh, well, they said they were still looking into that, sir. You're completely useless! Yow! Sir, I told you already, you can't go down there. No, you removed yourself from my way. What is all that racket? My luggage, my cargo, they're mine. I demand you return them to me. We're still investigating the cargo hold. Please understand and have a little patience. I suppose there's no choice. Finally, I think he gives... Hey, what are you... You have left me no choice but to use strong force. Ah! You won't get past me. This is... Wait, that's it. So that's what this whole thing has been about. Further, there's the matter of the key to this play case that held the murderous bank. Is there some way to prove that isn't my... After all, you know we've searched the entire cargo hold and came up empty-handed. Looking to not be stoned. The doc said that was one giant bruise from a beam from his shoulder down to his mid-back. Agent Hicks probably fell down. Thank you for that, fan number 1. I think we were just about to get that. Especially since we just saw the guy fall down. I was going to put the pieces together just now. But thanks for that. Okay. I gotta start putting things together. The weapon couldn't be found, and the cause of death is this. So... No, those are the wrong items. Let's see. What is it? Oh, right. The cause of death in the weapon. I'm dumb, sorry. Allegedly, the killer struck the victim many times over, which is why there's extensive bruising over such a wide area. But is that really the correct conclusion to draw from the evidence? The bruise from his shoulder to the middle of his back is one continuous mark, which is more suggestive of a single blow to the back. If that's the case, then the piggy bank is much too small to have caused that. Therefore, the murder weapon must be something far bigger. A sizable weapon which can't be fallen. Yeah, falling would definitely do that. If we're looking for a rather large weapon, you'd think it would stick out. But so far, we haven't found anything that resembles a weapon of any sort. Perhaps, just perhaps, it's something we all overlooked from the very beginning. Because normally it's too impossibly big to be taken into consideration. What was that all about? Was he trying to jump his way down here? Francisca. What? What do you want? I found it, Francisca. I found the real murder weapon. You did? He He really jumped. We didn't realize it until now, but the answer has been right in front of us this whole time. He might be hurt. We should go check on him, sirs. There's that pompous attitude of yours again. You should learn to drop that habit. This coming from a prosecutor with a habit of whipping everyone she comes across. Anyway, if you really are a prosecutor, then you'll back yourself up with evidence. You two aren't listening at all, are you? Come on then, show me this real murder weapon you speak of. I don't have any evidence to show you. Foolish reasoning for a foolish fool from a foolishly foolish fool meant to fool me! What is it with Francisca and just spamming the F word over and over? What do you mean by I don't have evidence to show? I am watching the start, so the guy who just fell smuggling things just was inconsistent in the flight attendant. Hang on a second, I gotta look at chat again just to figure this out. Because I haven't looked at the chat yet, now I gotta go and check. Let me look at... I didn't watch from the start, so the guy who just fell down trying to smuggle things, hence he was so insisted. And the flight attendant here were on it. Hello. Also, hello, Thesis and Spade. Yeah, I can understand the flight attendant thing and also LeBlanc. I don't think LeBlanc is the killer, though. But this would have been a pretty funny way of realizing, oh, LeBlanc would have been it. Because again, I'm not sure. The only thing I was somewhat suspicious of is maybe Cammy. But if it turns out the killer's LeBlanc, that's gonna blow my mind. Because again, I am actually blind to this case still. Perhaps I should have phrased it as that which caused Agent Hicks' death is incorporeal. Is this the investigation games? Yes, Theseus. We're playing the first investigations game from the Ace Attorney collection. Nah, the flight attendant definitely did, the key card. Yeah, they're talking about, they were mentioning earlier, oh, Tenero might have done it because she has the key card. I was thinking, no, probably Cammy stole it or something. Also, while I don't know much about this case, I've noticed that Cammy apparently has other sprites because people did videos on investigations and I watched a bit of the live dubbing. I just didn't go past case 2. But I think it's Cammy. That's about all I know. I should have phrased it as that which caused Agent Hicks' death is incorporeal. Forgive me, but I do believe I figured out what was the real cause of death. Freefall. The victim fell from a great height and subsequently died as a result. In other words, the real cause of death is from hitting the ground. Since the killer had the keycard and the flight attendant was in on it, they would kill the agent to not be discovered. The killer had the keycard and the flight attendant was in on it. LeBlanc didn't have a key card, though. I don't think this is a case of both flight attendants did it. That would be absurd. Tenero is not the killer, I'm pretty sure. So free falling to the ground was the cause of death. Yep, death by falling. The old Minecraft, you couldn't do the water bucket trick beneath you in time. Move the cargo, I bet there's a huge pool of blood there. I mean, maybe. I don't know. He fell to his death? Yes, this is the only plausible possibility. The victim has extensive bruising on the back of his head and back. Yes, the power of gravity! And the only rational explanation for these injuries is that he fell to his death. But the murder happened inside this plane! I know. Are you claiming that there was some place in this plane from which he could have fallen from? They're hiding the murder scene by putting the cargo there. I mean, the murder scene was already obscured by the fact that the body was found in the elevator on the first floor lobby. Also, yeah, we haven't moved the things, but also I can't see a blood pool there. Or I didn't easily notice beforehand. It could just be from the things being practically tied together, but I feel like they would have kept the details there. As I said earlier, the answer has been right in front of us the entire time. You can't mean... Yes, I do. The victim fell from the top of the stairs of this very cargo hold. What? Then we're in trouble. We may have a second death on our hands, sirs. Hey, you! Tell me you aren't dead, pal. Quiet! Why are you screaming? He's alive! And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. It's not possible Agent Hicks fell over the railing to his death. That means, and that man is living proof of that. I suppose it's true that it's not possible, given the current circumstances. Francisca, I think we were... Oh, that lets me see like the full thing. I don't know how to see all of chat on PlayStation 5 yet, but apparently it's showing all of the chat that's happened for once now. I don't know why. I'll have to figure out how it works later. Anyways, Francisca, we're talking about stairs. It is very possible for someone to fall down a set of stairs and die. They don't have to just fall off the railing. They could just fall down the stairs. The cargo weren't there when he fell. Duh. I mean, maybe they were there. It's like they were storing them down here with the rest of the cargo. I think it's more possible that he just fell down the stairs themselves. Then they put the cargo there to hide any blood stain. Didn't we just... I think they're going to say that it was falling down the stairs themselves and not off the railing. The current circumstances? What is that supposed to mean? Suppose the large piece of cargo wasn't there at the time. What would have happened then? Yeah, what are you supposed to... Oh, okay, never mind. So they are saying, oh, it's because LeBlanc's stuff isn't there. That would make sense. I thought LeBlanc's stuff would have been there the whole time, but I guess if it is there now, and it wasn't there beforehand, yeah, that would have killed him. So it's hiding behind LeBlanc's thing then. He would have been a Bourguignon pancake for sure, sir. I suppose that man over there wouldn't still be breathing. But the reality is that the cargo box is there, so there's no point in entertaining your wild hypothetical scenarios. It may be there now, but there's no proof that it was always there. Ha! As if there would have been a window of time where the giant box was not there. Since there was no blood stain at the bottom of the staircase. Luminal. Luminal to detect. We don't have a luminal mechanic in this yet. Thank you for the backseat gaming, though. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's not backseat gaming. Maybe it's just like trying to figure things out. But please don't backseat game this one. Like, the investigation games are like the only games I don't know anything about with how the cases work. I guess that and technically the Dual Destinies. Every other game in the franchise, I kind of know how the cases go. Do not ruin these ones for me, please. Ah, but there was. What? Yeah, the turbulence, right? What can I use to show her? It's possible the box was not always where it was now. Oh. Wait a second. Wait, the transferring!
Take that!
You refueled in the Republic of Zhangfa! Yes, this flight had a short layover in Zhangfa in order to refuel. But that wasn't the only reason for the layover. We also transferred some cargo. What if the box in question was only transferred onto the plane at that time? To further prove my point, let's take a look at what's next to the box in question. Move the cargo, I bet there's a huge pool of blood there. We're probably about to find that out. Ah, it's labeled Zhangfa Express. Correct, meaning it was loaded onto the plane in Zhangfa. Now, what if the box in question was also loaded on that at that same time? It would mean that the box was not here in the cargo hold during the Europe-Zhangfa leg of the flight, making a clear drop from which Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death entirely possible. Ah, but your theory is still very far-fetched. Then allow me a chance to prove how very likely my scenario is. My first order of business will be to examine that piece of cargo in more detail. Okay, so I guess we're checking this. This is a rather large piece of cargo. There's a tag on it, sir. Let's see. A lift red statue. Never heard of it. Or Alice, sorry. Nor I, but all I care about is if we can prove it wasn't here at the time of the crime. Let's get investigating, sir. Bruh. Of course you got all the way down here. Look here, do not go about touching my possessions without my permission. Ah, don't rush up on me like that, pal. So this belongs to Mr. LeBlanc, does it? I should see what else I can find out from him. Okay, LeBlanc, you're gonna explain this. Even Great Ace Attorney? Oh, no, I don't know about Great Ace Attorney thesis. Agent Hicks probably fell down. Yeah, we established that. We established the cause of death was probably falling. I had to tease him first. I was trying to figure out to talk to him first. I take it that this large piece of cargo belongs to you, Mr. LeBlanc. I accidentally hit R1, I'm sorry. Of course it is mine! I shipped this fine piece of art from Europe! This alley red statue was worth 10 million cents! No, maybe much, much more. I need to think. 10 million cents. It's 100 cents to make $1. So that's like what? 100K is how much that statue is worth? $100,000? Mr. LeBlanc's reason for choosing this plane must have been in the large cargo hold. 10 million cents. I suggest you stop trying to calculate how many packets of noodles that makes, Detective. Darn, how'd you do that? I feel like you keep getting better and better. I can't read with the... Now it's showing me like other messages. I can't tell how old some of them are. Yeah, $100,000, I thought so. I need to figure out how to make it so that I can see certain things. You're getting better and better at seeing right through me every year. Though I grow with each revolution of the planet around the sun. I have the distinct impression he continues to madly spin in place. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, so that 10 million cents, is that in euros or in dollars? Does it really make a difference to our case? Mr. LeBlanc, there's a chance that your cargo is related to our murder case. I was wondering if you would allow us to examine it a bit closer. It is a very valuable piece of art, so no, there will be no touching. Very valuable piece of art. Huh. Well, that's a logic piece there. I'm missing some logic, I'm pretty sure. Wait! Smuggling valuable piece of... Hold up. Oh, is he actually a smuggler? If Mr. LeBlanc has something to do with the smuggling ring, then it's possible this fake statue was brought on board in Zhengfa. I think I need to question him a bit further. About your statue, Mr. LeBlanc. I wonder if it might be a fake. What? How dare you say my art is fake? I suspect that your statue might be the target of an international smuggling ring. Don't say such fantastical things! Those thieves would not dare! I have the certification of my cargo right here! Do you mean the cargo certification document? Mr. Zinc LeBlanc, why didn't you say so earlier? Please show it to us at once! I can't read this. What does it say? It says plain as day, the cargo was brought onto the plane in Europe. And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. Too bad for you. This statue was brought on board in Europe just as it states in the certificate. No, that's... Which means that there never was a window of time in which the statue wasn't sitting there. So it was loaded on board in Europe. Okay, never mind. So it was here the entire time if it was... Okay, so this evidence just proves no, it was not moved in the Republic. So I was right with my thinking that it could have been all the way down the stairs. So it couldn't have fallen from the side. I respectfully disagree. We can't discount the theory until I see the statue for myself. Then you can have your wish. Look at it yourself and see if I'm right. This... I know I've seen this somewhere before. This is the Aleph Red? It gives off such a feeling of art. I can practically smell it. Move the cargo. We don't see a pool of blood underneath there right now. Hang on, let me look at the chat. How is a piece of art that big? Statue, yes. For her Hotel Dusk. How is there no stain of blood anywhere if it wasn't hidden during the cargo? We don't see one right now. The cargo's been moved. We've no idea. The statue has a high amount of historic value. After it was unveiled at a museum in Europe, I brought it to this country to exhibit it. Aleph Red statue. Piece of art being shipped. I believe a closer look is warranted here. Wait, is there actually something underneath? Or am I dumb? So this is the infamous Aleph Red statue. What is it, Edgeworth? Did you find something? There's something wrong with this picture. Should I examine it in more detail? Wait. Hang on a second. The eyes. The eyes are different. The eyes are like yellow here, and here they're red. These eyes are awfully orange, don't you think? Yeah, and pretty. They remind me of sunsets when I was in grade school, sir. I don't think you see what I'm talking about. No, I do, but it's really like the color of the sun when it's setting, sir. Ah, the memories. I remember standing out in that field, spinning with my arms out until I felt ill. I don't care about sunsets! Focus, detective! What color are the eyes in this photo? Huh? Ah! Sir, they're red! As I thought. This statue was a fake. Mr. LeBlanc, what do you want? Do you not know I am a busy man? I allow you 2 seconds for your answer. The olive red, I suppose this is your pride and joy, is it not? Is the biggest trophy on this European trip. Do you know why I wanted to possess the statue? The trigger started 17 years ago. Better grab a chair, sir. Sounds like this is going to be a long story. Mr. LeBlanc, I regret to inform you, and you have my heartfelt sympathy, but what is that? Sympathy? For what? You'll see. I'd like you to compare the eyes. That large fellow there has very bright and pretty eyes compared to you. I wasn't talking about the 2 of us. I meant the eyes of the statue in front of us and the one in this photo. Why the son yelling? Now then, oh! It is a photo of the statue on display at the museum in Europe. Ah! Now do you see, Mr. LeBlanc? The statue before us is a fake. A fake! I believe that even further examination will be required. Now that we've confirmed that this is indeed a fake, there must be some sort of proof that this was brought on board in Zhangfa, and I will present you evidence that will resolve the remaining contradiction. Evidence that this was brought in from Zhangfa. Wrong button. Is there anything else in the photo I'm missing? This... Wait! The claw. What's this? The statue looks like it's stepping all over its neighbor's cloth cover. It kind of resembles its owner's attitude in a sense. So, you! What did you say now? Furthermore, my clothing hem is not being stepped on by anyone. It's too expensive for me to allow that to happen. Please forgive the trespassers of my subordinates. Why should I forgive if the dress passes? Unless it's an expensive dress, you keep it. Huh. The art dealer isn't looking too happy about it either, sir. I will get to the bottom of this for his sake as well as mine. Okay, I need to figure out. I'm assuming it's this. Right. Certificate. Fake piece not worth a cent, let alone millions. Okay, I need to figure this out really quickly. So there's more than one evidence that this was moved in, right? Is it the cloth and the... Oh yeah, cloth and the cargo, right? There's clearly a contradiction here. What are you going on about? It's just a simple case of cargo cover getting stuck under another piece of cargo. Ah, that's not possible! But it is. It shouldn't be this way, but the statue is on top of the cloth. Supposing the neighboring piece of cargo was brought on board in Zhangfa, there is no way that any part of it would wind up under something from Europe. Which means this fake statue was smuggled on board in Zhangfa. But then what about the cargo certificate? Let me ask in return, what about Agent Hicks? Why did he come down here in the middle of the flight? There's only one reason why. To secure proof of smuggling activity aboard this flight. So you say, but I don't believe he had to do that mid-flight. He could have just as easily inspected all the cargo after the plane landed. That may be true. However, you have it backwards, Francisca. Sure, Agent Hicks could have waited until after the plane had landed, but he had a reason for coming down to the cargo hold. Suppose he'd found the fake at the airport. It would have been after the swap had occurred. At that time, the suspicion would naturally fall into the statue's owner. He would have no way to prove that the statue was switched without his knowledge. Which means there is someone involved who is forging or modifying cargo certificates. Brilliant. I guess the victim knew the real version of this was gonna get nabbed, huh? Yes, while this photo could have been seen as nothing more than a simple souvenir, it was in fact taken to be used as a reference document later on. Next, Agent Hicks had to secure proof that the smuggling had taken place. He came down here to take a picture of the cargo hold, a rather empty one at that, right before the fake statue could be loaded on board. A photo of the hold missing a valuable piece of cargo would have been proof enough. After that, all he had to do was hold the Zhangfa cargo crew and arrest the smuggler. Exactly. This only goes to prove my theory. If the statue was not in the cargo hold during the Europe-Zhangfa leg of the trip, there would have been enough height from which Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death. Officer! Move the statue immediately! I want a thorough examination of the floor underneath, now! Miss Von Kama, I'm ready to report my findings. Go on. After moving the olive red statue out of the way, we tested the area under it with luminol and there was a reaction. Okay, so never mind, there was blood in there. Okay, my apologies, fan 1, or whatever your name was. You were right earlier about the falling thing, because of the movement and such. I see there was a reaction in luminol, an indication that there was a blood in that spot. Ugh, can we stop looking at it now, sirs? It would seem that my deductions were correct after all. I suppose it would appear that way. The culprit cleaned the blood up well. And how do you think the killer did that? How did the killer clean up all the blood? The cloth, I'm guessing.
Take that!
The killer used the bloody cloth I found inside the suitcase to clean up the mess. I see. They had a need to clean up all the blood before the plane landed in Zhangfa. Yes, because otherwise the cargo crew would have discovered it during the layover. So you guys are saying that the murder happened before the plane landed in Zhangfa? There is no other conceivable timeline for the events of the murder. But if that's true, then that throws a certain person's testimony into doubt. If the murder occurred before we landed in Zhangfa, then Melee's testimony becomes like, now we need the autopsy report from the time of death was before Zhangfa landed. If it was in real life. I mean, we've already basically confirmed that if it happened before the fake art was there, then it had to happen before they landed in Zhangfa. And if that's the case, then whoever claimed that the victim was alive afterwards has their testimony thrown into suspicion. To which the answer is Melee, who claimed that Hicks was alive at 5 a.m. Recall Miss Melee's testimony about Agent Hicks in regard to when we departed Zhangfa. I saw Mr. Hicks sitting in his seat at 5 a.m., you know. She claims Agent Hicks was alive at the time of the service calls, but that totally contradicts the facts, sir. But why would she lie about something like that? I think the only person who can answer that is Miss Melee herself. Another intermission. There's 3 of these. 3 intermissions in just this. Jeez. Well, I suppose the same applies to, like, trial days in Ace Attorney, but I was surprised by this. March 12th, 3:35 p.m. Flight G390, lower deck cargo hold. So she is now definitely the murderer. Yep. I mean, like, it seems pretty obvious at this point. Plus, there was her throwing Tenero under the bus a bit, so that was also kind of suspicious. I wish I wasn't already suspicious beforehand because of slight knowledge, but that's about it. Miss Melee. Miss Melee! Huh? Do you recall what you said earlier about when you answered some service calls as we were departing from Zhangfa? Huh? You said that Mr. Hicks was sitting in his seat at that time. However, that is simply not possible, because Mr. Hicks was dead long before we touched down in Zhangfa. Oh? Miss Cammy Melee! Maybe I didn't see what I thought I did? No one can make a mistake so large, Miss Melee. But I make that kind of boo-boo all the time. Ugh! This is going nowhere. There must be a better way of resolving this contradiction. Very well, Miss Melee. If you please, tell me about your alibi during the time span. From just before we were to land at 3 and 6 a.m. when the body was found. Are you telling me I'm a suspect, Mr. Edgeworth? Miss Melee's alibi. Yeah. From 3 to 4, I was, in the flight attendant's room, all by my lonesome self. Yeah. And from 5 to 6, I was in the flight attendant's room all by my lonesome self. How is a man supposed to react to a testimony like that? Miss Melee, wake up! Ah! Ugh, she fell asleep again. Looks like the only way I'm going to be able to wake her up is by pressing her. Yeah, I want to ask about the last one. 5 to 6. That can't be possible. Tenero bought a suitcase at that time. Hold it! So you were alone the entire time, were you? Yeah, no one else even popped their head in to say hi. Oh, well, that's a contradiction. Just popped in, say hi. What should I do? Raise objection? Raise an objection! Miss Melee, there is a clear contradiction in your testimony. Huh? What are you talking about? It's not possible that you were alone in the attendance room the whole time from 5 to 6 a.m. Yep.
Take that!
I wonder if you would be so kind as to take a look at this receipt, Miss Melee. Testimony. Yes, testimony. Because we are currently questioning Miss Melee about what she knows about the murder. Especially given that she's probably the killer. Huh? A receipt? For what? It's for the suitcase Miss Tenero bought. Now, if I may direct your attention to the timestamp. As you can see, it clearly says 5:40 a.m. Miss Tenero! Yes? Huh? Why is the killer here? I thought you'd have her locked up by now. I requested that she be present as a witness, so that we may straighten out your complex lie. Now then, Miss Tenero, between the hours of 5 and 6 a.m., you took a trip from first class down to the first floor in-flight shop, correct? Yes, I went to the shop to buy a suitcase. No, I meant pick her testimony as the evidence, but I remembered it. Yeah. Well, we couldn't pick Tenero's testimony as evidence. We had to use the receipt as evidence, because we didn't have a testimony from Tenero. After which I went straight to the attendance room to drop it off. And did you see Miss Melee there at the time? No. So, Miss Melee, were you really between the hours... Where were you really between the hours of 5 and 6 a.m.? Yeah. Miss Cammy Melee! Huh? The bathroom? I'll be the one to ask the questions here. Yeah, maybe that's it. I probably just missed her. Nature calls, you know. You take me for a fool. That's a little too convenient to be true. But it's the truth. Cross my heart. I don't have enough conclusive proof to counter-argue her at this stage. You don't believe me, do you? But please, won't you give me a chance and hear me out? Reason for suspicion. At this point, she should ask for a, what? Lawyer. Yeah, problem. We're stuck at the airport until we clear this up. And Phoenix is MIA, so yeah. Look, I know you're suspecting me because I'm one of the crew. But you think then maybe you should also suspect Miss Rhoda too? She's the one in charge of the elevator keycard in the shop, you know. If you ask me, that makes her super suspicious. Please leave Miss Tenero out of the conversation. Only you are under suspicion for now. I don't get it. Why are you covering for Miss Rhoda all of a sudden? Oh, now I get it. Maybe you've got your eye on Miss Rhoda. Of course I'm keeping an eye on her. I can't very well let her escape, can I? Never mind, but you want to know something? Miss Rhoda actually kind of like... I have absolutely no interest in people who can't appreciate my sense of design. Now's not the time for this sort of talk. Okay, let me try to figure out how to piece this up. I'm not suspecting you for the crew thing exactly. She's the one in charge of the elevator keycard and the shop. The shop isn't related to this anymore. We've already determined the cause of death is falling. But the cause of... Well, the autopsy... if I remember correctly. Keycard was stolen. Well, that's what she claims, that the keycard is stolen. We don't have a exact way to prove that. That's why she was being held up earlier. Let me go start pressing on arguments, though, because I'm probably gonna have to use the autopsy report somewhere.
Hold it!
And what are you in charge of, Miss Melee? I take care of the attendance room. That doesn't count! But I spent so much time in there, it might as well be my responsibility. Mr. Edgeworth, Cammy's very talented in languages, so she assists passengers who may not speak English, especially those who speak Virginian. She's the only one on this flight who is fluent. Oh, you mean that kind of what am I in charge of? Why didn't you say so in the first place? What else could I have meant? Yeah, so I'm really good at Borginian. She's fluent in Borginian. Then I suppose you're in charge of processing documents in Borginian. Yeah, I take care of anything that has to do with Borginian. Yeah, she's definitely a smuggler. Interesting. Yeah, I think that gives that away. Hang on. She knows many languages. Yeah, she does, but... how am I going to prove that she might have something to do with the smuggling? I don't know what line to use to figure that out yet. Being in charge of the keycard in the shop doesn't really help, I think. Suspecting because I'm one of the crew. Hold on, let me check that too. No, it's not the only reason I have for suspecting you. Your statements regarding Mr. Hicks also turned out to be a bunch of lies. Ah, but say I wasn't an attendant, you wouldn't suspect me then, would you? Yes, I suppose that's true enough. So you think maybe you should also suspect Rhoda?
Hold it!
Hold it! She is already being detained for further questioning, or have you already forgotten? Oh yeah, I guess I just forgot. Cammy, don't tell me you suspect me too. Sorry, can't help it. I mean, other than yourself, there's no one else who could have done it. I can't believe you think that! I mean, me, a killer! Miss Melee, what did you mean just now by no one else could have done it? One in charge of the key card and... Makes her super suspicious. Oh, here it is. All I'm in charge of is the room and some Virginian stuff. Okay, I'm gonna press on that first, and then I'm going to use the thing.
Hold it!
Hold it! So what exactly do you do as the one in charge of some Borginian stuff? I do stuff like translate things from and into Borginian. Cammy's the only member of the crew who understands Borginian, Mr. Edgeworth. Miss Melee, I take that's your job to process all Borginian paperwork? Yeah, I totally pull my weight around here. So it would appear. Perhaps I should ask her for a few more details about her work, and... Miss Melee, it's very unladylike to push suspicion onto someone else. That's not what I'm doing at all. I'm just saying that Miss Rhoda is very There you go, pushing everything onto her again! I don't get what you're saying. It must be a really abstract concept, huh? The only thing abstract here is the landscape inside your head. Okay. So, definitely in charge of the Borginian stuff here. This is a bit awkward of a testimony to go through, but I'm assuming that it has to do with the certificate. It's in Borginian, it's a fake, so... Objection! Stupid woman. So you're the only one in this flight crew that speaks Borginian. Is that correct? Oh, yeah, I guess so. I studied abroad in Borginia for a while. If that is the case, then the signature on this document belongs to you, doesn't it? This is a falsified piece of documentation with only one purpose, to lead anyone who read it to believe that Mr. LeBlanc's statue was loaded in Europe. The only person who could have either prepared or processed this document in Borginian is you, Miss Melee. Without your participation, the smuggling of the left red could not have occurred. Don't sleep while I'm pointing my finger at you! Oh, I wouldn't dream of falling asleep on you, Mr. Edgeworth. Yeah, we got the personality change. Thank you for making it very obvious that you're suspicious, ma'am. It's exactly as you say. Are you confessing to having participated in the smuggling? No, far from it. It's true I was the one who signed off on that document. But you can't use that fact alone to make your allegation of smuggling stick. There's no direct correlation, after all. All you have is my signature on a piece of paper. Really, all you did was sign it, and neglected to check if the cargo had been loaded onto the plane properly. So sorry about that. It seems that she's finally woken up. This is gonna be one tough fight. Suppose, and this is just a supposition, even if I was involved in the smuggling, you can't throw the charge of murder on me just like that.
Objection!
Objection! If you were involved in the smuggling, you would have a strong motive to kill. Agent Hicks was in the middle of an investigation regarding a smuggling ring, and just when he was about to close in, he's killed by a member of that ring. Well, did you ever stop to think that maybe Rhoda is the smuggling ring member? After all, unlike me, Rhoda has access to many things on this plane for work purposes. So perhaps there is some element of a setup at play in this case. What are you talking about? Don't worry, I wasn't talking about you. I meant the killer. First, it was... Mom did that. Yes. Apologies, interruptions from outside forces. Let's continue. First, it was myself, and now it's Miss Tenero who is under the microscope. Seems to me that our killer is going to great lengths to pin this crime on anyone they can. You have no proof that Rhoda is being set up, or that she isn't. Actually, I believe that she was indeed the intended target from the very beginning. I believe that the plan was to push all the blame for the crime onto her. And this evidence will prove my suspicions. This proves the killer was out to frame Miss Tenero from the very beginning. Yeah, the case, right?
Take that!
The killer could have hidden the body anywhere, and yet they chose the suitcase. Why is that? Perhaps it was to move the body up from the lower deck to the first floor. However, why go through the trouble to do so? The only way all of these actions make sense is if the killer had wanted to frame Miss Tenero for the murder. Miss Tenero buys a suitcase on every flight she works without fail. But should her suitcase be switched with the one containing the victim's body, that would put her in a very tight spot. Unfortunately for the killer, the turbulence put an end to that plan. There wasn't enough time to put the body back into the suitcase. Ergo, they made do with whoever was at hand, adapted their plan, and tried to frame me as I lay unconscious on the floor from the turbulence. The killer then went to hide the suitcase in the in-flight shop, and brought the piggy bank back to the elevator in order to fabricate a false weapon. A lot of work for a fruitless endeavor, wouldn't you agree? Sounds like the killer had a tough time too, huh? I mean, why did the killer need to frame someone that badly anyway? That's because of the special circumstances surrounding this particular case. What special circumstances dictate the need for the killer to frame someone? Framing someone. Who the victim was? Because it was an Interpol agent, right? The killer was at a loss of what to do with Agent Hicks' body, but as it just so happened, there was a bunch of empty suitcases nearby. Nah, I would have thought because of an Interpol agent, but no. The whole plan to frame someone was an elaborate coincidence. Yeah, I clearly got the wrong one here. Ow! Damn you, Francisca! Patience, I was about to reveal the truth! Jeez, okay. Yeah, that's dumb. Okay, when the murder took place then... Wait, no, that doesn't make sense either. Because of the turbulence, probably. And also, no one's gonna check cargo, right? Oh yeah, also it's gonna where? No. Yeah, where? I'm an idiot, it's where. It was gonna be where from the start, probably. Because no one can get in here. Jesus, I am so bad at this! Why am I so bad at the random guessing? It's fine until they give me 3 options, and then it becomes hard to tell. The special circumstances simply that the murder took place on a plane mid-flight. No matter which country, customs is quite strict in this day and age, so no matter what you do, the chances the body will be found is very high. Therefore, there was no choice but to frame either Miss Tenero or myself. In other words, the only one who fits within the boundaries of the criminal's movements is not Miss Tenero or myself. But you, Miss Cammy Melee, only you and you alone could be the killer. Yawn. And... Are you done already? I was about to fall asleep again. Anyway, let's be honest here. You don't have anything on me other than a whole lot of circumstantial evidence. Again with the circumstantial evidence. Why can't I prove people's guilt with only circumstantial evidence? I can see the outline of how the murder occurred, but I have no definitive evidence. And isn't there a piece of evidence that still can account for? Okay. I'm in like the final stretch here. So, yeah, this is a save moment. I gotta figure this out properly. Something that I still can't quite fit into the big picture. Right, the cell phone hasn't been addressed, right?
Take that!
I don't have any actual evidence. I thought not. But that's because it went missing, and still is. Missing? What do you mean by that? In the complex puzzle that is this case, there was one piece I kept getting stuck on. And that is the victim's cell phone. Francisca, you were waiting at the airport for a phone call from Agent Hicks' cell phone. Or at least that's what you told me. That's right. But Agent Hicks' cell phone could not be found at the crime scene. You mean the killer took the phone with them? Precisely. I suspect that if we were to find that phone, it would lead us to the killer. Come on, get serious. If the victim fell to his death from that height, wouldn't his phone break as well? We won't know that until we try a little experiment, won't we? Francisca, I'd like to ask for your assistance. You know the victim's phone number, do you not? Of course I do. Agent Hicks' phone! It's ringing from somewhere, sir. I hear it, Detective. Now, where is it coming from? Miss Melee, wake up. Sorry, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh. I got sleepy all of a sudden because it sounds like a lullaby you saw as a child. I better find that cell phone fast. You determine the real crime scene is here. All that's left is to catch the killer. Sounds like the foe is up in the flight attendant's room. Oh! It's upstairs. Oh yeah, that's much louder. March 12th, 4:12 p.m. Flight G390, first floor, flight attendant's room. The ringing's coming from somewhere in here, sir. Leave no stone unturned, Detective Gumshoe. We must find it. The ringing's coming from in here, sir. What? No, it can't be. This has got to be the victim's cell phone. Just whose locker is this, sir? It's Miss Tenero's. Yep, I'm not surprised. It probably got planted again. What? March 12th, 4:28 p.m. Flight G390, lower deck cargo hold. Yep, just as I was thinking, Thesis, it's probably been planted. So, Mr. Edgeworth, how did it go? Where'd you find the phone? I found it in the flight attendant's room, in Miss Tenero's locker. No way the killer would have kept them on them. Well, no duh! You don't keep incriminating evidence in places where people can find it from you. What? But... Rhoda Tenero! I don't know anything about the phone! It wasn't me! It wasn't me! Miss Von Karma, is it? I suggest you arrest Miss Rhoda Tenero right away. Objection! Wait! I have a theory. This is related to the incident with the keycard. When the killer went to steal the keycard, they conveniently stashed the cell phone in Miss Tenero's locker at the same time. This is related to the keycard, alright? In the same way that we have zero proof that the killer did just that. The only voice that sings the truth is evidence. That is the one bird we cannot ignore. What should I do? Francisco's right. I can't offer baseless conjectures at this point. Alright, then. Why did the Cobra take the cell phone from Agent Hicks? It must have something very incriminating on or in it.
Hold it!
What now, Miles Edgeworth? It's not over yet. We have yet to figure out why the killer took the phone. No proof, though, so as for now, they should both be arrested. You know Ace Attorney doesn't look like that. They put a bunch of incriminating evidence on Tenero. The police would more likely arrest Tenero because more evidence was put on her. They're not just going to arrest both of them because, oh, you might have something to do with it. No, they're going to go with the person that has way more suspicious stuff on them. So yeah, that's why we need to clear this up now. Especially since the police in this universe are useless. What? Inside this phone lies the final piece of incriminating evidence that will point us to our killer. We need to examine this phone in more detail. Wait. This must be the switch that opens the phone. The LCD is broken. Without a screen, you can't even place a call on it. What's LeBlanc doing here? He thinks he's on the team for the sake of the plot. Yeah, LeBlanc thinks he's on the team. Nah, he's just here because of the art. You can't even make a phone call with this. LCD is broken. Let's see, you can't even place a call with this. When did they start putting keyboards like these in the cell phone? Hey, this is one of those computer cell phones that they started selling recently. Computer cell phones? Yeah, it's got a computer in it and it's a cell phone. Neat, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? All you need is a phone is the phone part, nothing more. I'm guessing you always can't even send out email. Talk about inconvenience. You have a problem with that, what I do and do not care for, Detective. No, sir. As they say, simple is best. Let me try to figure out what's the suspicious part of this. It's a camera lens. Come to think of it, I wonder, how exactly was Agent Hicks planning to preserve the crime scene of the smuggling? He is trampling on the crime scene! So are we, technically! Francisca, I need you to confirm something. This cell phone, can it take pictures? Mr. Edgeworth, I can't believe you don't know about this kind of basic stuff, sir. This looks like a very similar model to my own. And mine can take photos just fine. The power of messing with evidence. Yes, the power of messing with evidence is stronger than just, having actual evidence. Do you think Agent Hicks could have taken some pictures with this? In particular, pictures as evidence for a smuggling case. If so, I'd say there may be some very inconvenient photos in here for our killer smuggler. But the phone's all busted up, sir. Even a super prosecutor can't repair a broken phone. I'll find a way, don't you worry about that. Don't phones have SD cards? Just take that! Just grab the data from the phone and reproduce it on like another thing. Oh wait, this is a game from 2006 or 2007. They might not have thought of that yet. May I go back to sleep now?
Objection!
The LCD screens on the inside and outside are broken, that's for sure. But that's also reason enough to believe that the killer wasn't able to erase the data. What? What do you mean by that, Francisca? It looks like our killer isn't very familiar with electronics. This phone still rang when I called it, meaning that only the LCD screens are broken. It's possible that the photos are still there inside, waiting to be accessed. All we need to do is transfer the data to my phone. Thank you, Francisca, for being intelligent! Francisca, your phone, if you please. Very well. It's transferring. Alright, displaying it now. This is... Agent Hicks was most certainly trying to obtain some evidence for this smuggling case. Hey, that A-list red's nowhere in the picture. But this has no meaning as a piece of evidence in this murder case, right? She's right. There's not much we can find out from this about Agent Hicks' killer, sir. Other than the statue wasn't there? Is this it? Is this the end? Is there really nothing in this photo that we can use? The guardrail. Looks exactly the same as it does now. The rail is entirely too low. I even almost fell on my death. However, I was saved in a miracle-like manner. Perhaps way is to run away from death by the skin of one's own gums. Try to narrowly escape death by the skin of one's teeth, Shakespeare. Suitcase. Now then, there must be something in this photo. Oh, right, yeah, the suitcases. I don't remember the spacing of it, but it doesn't seem like any of the suitcases were touched here, right? The fact that all the suitcases are here in this photo is odd. Agent Hicks was still alive at the time. So what exactly is odd about the suitcases that haven't been used before being here? Yes, well, I was only pointing out things that are different between now and then. Your off-topic ramblings have put this attendant to sleep again, Mr. Edgeworth. I'll give sleepy as they were waking. A deafening objection and a contradiction. We are checking for everything we can. Wait a moment. Wait! There's a different object here than beforehand. Isn't there supposed to be like a bigger art piece? Why are there boxes? What's all this? Oh, they're cargo shipped from Borginia to Zhengfa. So the reason they aren't here now is that they were dropped off in Zhengfa. Mr. LeBlanc, can you tell me more of the contents of the boxes? Unfortunately, there is no English written on them anywhere. The boxes. One cluster of boxes is written in Borginian. It says, it is cloth in English. Cloth? Could it be... Is this where the killer... What? What's for the scary face? Miss Melee. Yes? It appears that Agent Hicks was no ordinary investigator. He left us with a piece of evidence, after all. A striking piece that will point out who the killer is. Ha! Maybe you shouldn't force your mistaken reading of a simple picture, Mr. Edgeworth. Alright, I've got to save here probably, because I may or may not get any extra chances to solve this one. Okay. The Borginian cargo and this piece of evidence will point us straight to the killer. The cargo from Zhengfa, right?
Take that!
Would you care to fill me in on what you were trying to prove me with that? It shows I will be representing my evidence! God damn it! Edgeworth, why? I will be representing my evidence. Nope. Okay. It's not that. What is it? What is the thing that's missing here? The cargo and what? It's not the cargo from Zhengfa. Oh, right, the cloth. Oh, thank you, fan number 1, for backseating.
Take that!
And what is that supposed to prove? Oh, right, cloth on buses. I am dumb, Jesus Christ! The killer used this piece of cloth to wipe up the blood they had spilled. But there was one thing that bothered me this whole time. Where did it come from? And now I finally found my answer in this very photo. The cargo that was unloaded in Zhengfa had cloth written on it. In Borginian, that is. And this is where the killer grabbed a piece from to clean up the blood with. That's right. The killer was someone who could read and understand Borginian. And the only crew member that fits that description is you, Miss Cammy Melee. Hold it! Ha! That's pretty flimsy. The killer probably searched through all the boxes looking for something to use. When you're frantic, you don't care if the box is in English or Borginian. But like, that is not really hard evidence.
Objection!
Objection! Sorry, but I cannot agree with your assessment of the killer's indiscriminate nature. What? There was no need for the killer to tear through boxes at random at all. And, if the killer supposedly could not comprehend Borginian, well then... Logically, the killer would have opened this box first. The bed sheets!
Take that!
Hey! It says bed sheets in English right on the box, sir. Precisely, and bed sheets would be perfect for cleaning up blood, wouldn't you say? Hold it! So what are you trying to say? That if I were the criminal, this box of bed sheets would have been what I have spotted first. However, the killer chose to use some Borginian cloth. Do you have an explanation for that? The killer didn't want anyone to know that the real scene of the crime was this cargo hold. So they were afraid to leave signs that the box for the sheets had been opened. However, the Borginian cloth, well, that's a horse of a different color. Because the killer knew that I was going to be unloaded in the Republic of Zhengfa? That's right. That's why the Borginian cloth was used. And the only Borginian reader on board who could make such a calculated decision is you, Cammy Melee. You and you alone. Since the cloth boxes were going to be unloaded. Yes, The boxes were going to be put away in a different country, so the evidence that cloths were used was going to be gone by the time they continued the flight. So yeah, evidence has already been disposed of, and since that evidence can only be used by someone that knows Borginian, it would be very easy for us to confirm if any of the boxes were resealed. All we would have to do is contact the Zangfa authorities in time. We may even find other evidence to incriminate our killer within those boxes. So what do you say, Miss Melee? Why not confess to your crime here and now? Or would you rather wait and see what we find out from our investigation in Zangfa? No! Oh, she's losing it! He was Interpol. I couldn't stop it. I brought him here. He started taking pictures. I couldn't be found out. I was scared. I was in trouble. So she pushed him to his death. She did it because he was going to expose the smuggling. He was going to expose the smuggling, and she panicked once he started taking photos of the area. Because she's part of the smuggling ring. So that's why she killed him. She's a member of the smuggling ring, and he was going to expose the smuggling, so she killed him. And then she tried to pin it on anyone that she could, since it would have been very easy to trace the evidence back to her. Alright. At least it was fast. Fast, yes, but painful. March 12th, 5:26 p.m., Flight G390, first floor lounge. We finished making all the arrangements to take the suspect in, sir. Very good, detective. What about the smuggling route? Did she say anything about that? They're taking her down to the precinct now. Hopefully we can get more out of her there. Whenever we even approached the topic, she just started foaming at the mouth. It was scary, sir. She probably wasn't prepared to commit a murder all of a sudden. One thing is for sure, the ring behind this whole mess means serious business. It looks like there's a lot more to this case than meets the eye. Mr. Edgeworth, I just want to say how much I appreciate everything you did. Thank you very much. It was nothing. In fact, I should be the one thanking you for your cooperation. But truly, if it wasn't for you, I might not be here right now. Instead, I can continue to serve our passengers as a flight attendant. I hope that, well, please accept this as a token of my appreciation. That's... I see. You don't have to take it if you don't want it. No, I mean, I would never turn down a lady's generous offer. Oh, thank you. I'm sure it will serve you well. And remember, we here at Go-Yo Airlines are always ready to serve, Mr. Edgeworth. Thank you. I'll keep that in mind. Now I must bid you farewell. May all your skies be blue no matter where you go. I can't believe we wound up investigating the whole day, sir, but boy was it fun. Speak for yourself. My day was filled with earthquakes, elevators, and farce charges. Gennaro needs a vacation and therapy. I mean, like, probably a vacation, yes, but I don't think she needs therapy for the fact that no one wanted to buy her suitcases. By the way, where's Francisca? Oh, she's filling out some customer's paperwork for her departure. Departure? Yeah, Miss Von Karma is always really busy, sir. She's been flying from country to country to chase down some leads regarding her case. Detective, can you cancel the car I had you reserve earlier? You got it, sir. March 12th, 5:47 p.m., Hope Springs Airport. Francisca. I thought I told you when you first landed, I have no time for idle chatter. I have no intention of wasting your time. However, it's been a while since we last met. I also have no time for such familiar reminiscences. Just who do you think I am? You are Francisca Von Karma, a very proud prosecutor deserving much respect. Until only a little while ago, I was but a wretched mutt who was always losing to you. A dancing Pierrot, living her life on the name and fame her invincible father built. True, your father, Manfred von Karma, didn't lose a single case for 40 years as a prosecutor. Yeah, and he also committed a fucking murder and tried to blame you for it, Edgeworth? You're not gonna talk about that? However, I wouldn't say he was invincible. What are you talking about? The group I'm on the trail of is a little more troublesome than most. The smuggling route we found this time is only one sliver of the big picture. Sounds like a dangerous assignment. You really don't have to worry. I can take care of myself. Yes, I suppose you can. Plus, there's another agent on this case with me. Oh, another agent? He's a star among Interpol agents, and has the highest successful arrest rate. Through false evidence and, well, yeah, he murdered your father, bro. Yes, that is true. But we're not talking about him, evidently. Who knows, you may even run into him one day. I was simply caught up in this one case. I hardly see why we would cross paths. He's really trying to remind her that Manfred lost to a rookie. Well, he did. He also got penalized by his father. And then he got owned by a rookie who proceeded to solve a case that was years old. I suppose. But I doubt he would say the same. I'm not following you. You'll understand soon enough. The fight has only just begun, Miles Edgeworth. I'll be back in this country soon enough. And when I am, you can be sure I'll pay you back in full. Wonder if Manfred is still alive canonically. Probably not. I wouldn't be surprised if he's already dead. And just like that, she's gone, huh, sir? Thank goodness, I can finally rest easy knowing I won't have to watch out for her whip. Detective Gumshoe, I want to thank you for all your help and cooperation. It was nothing, sir. I was just happy to be able to work with you again. I think I'm gonna celebrate by adding a little extra salt to my instant news tonight. Just how much did you cut his salary by, Francisca? Detective, I was wondering if you might give me a ride down to the prosecutor's office. Sure thing, sir. I'll even fly down the road in the patrol car if you want. Don't make me remind you, Detective. Safety first. Thus, I solved the first case upon my arrival home. Francisca von Karma, the smuggling route she was after. The leaders of that ring had already put their trump card into play. And the players on the other side of this war, they would begin to make themselves known through the next incident. Edgeworth speaking. Finally. I called who knows how many times earlier, but I couldn't get through. And you are? Have you forgotten my voice, Miles, my boy? Mr. Amano? Ernest Amano, correct? So you do remember me. I know it's rather sudden, but I can't ask this of anyone else. There's been an incident, Miles. My son, he's been kidnapped. Oh, that's spicy. But we're at the end of Chapter 2. Find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. I'm sorry, that was so bad. Thought it was Manfred for a second there. No! Manfred's in jail! Manfred is in jail. We ain't doing that. Manfred's in jail. Anyways, so that case got owned. Overwriting the saves again. I have no perfect run of this anymore. It doesn't matter. So, next is the kidnap turnabout. We aren't doing that yet, though. I'm going to save that for the next part, since I spent basically the rest of my night trying to solve this case. This is fun, though. I hope you guys all enjoyed watching. Hopefully I'll be able to stream again tomorrow if I'm not too busy. Although, tomorrow might not happen until very late in the evening because I have to worry about work. But, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you want to see the next stream, subscribe, I guess. I don't know. And hopefully we'll get to do this again soon. But until then, yeah, I'll see you all next time. The Cavalry is signing out. Bye!